What's up, guys? I have just come back from the Friendship Knot Quilters Guild's show called Quilts in Paradise. I just came from QuiltCon, right? Which is a big show, but I think I am more impressed and inspired by this show. And that's not to say that QuiltCon wasn't amazing. I just think that the Friendship Knot Quilters Guild nailed it. And I know that sounds, I mean, they just did. There are some things that I really, really like about this show. And I want to bring light to them so that if somebody else is planning a show or if I ever plan a show, these are just some things that I would like to consider and think about because they nailed it. If you're just coming in, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. I need all the thumbs up that I can get. Make sure you're sharing me, liking, commenting, and subscribing. So, first things first, they give you this booklet here. And yes, it's a little, loved. And they also give you a pamphlet with all of the winners on there, including the honorable mentions. And then they give you a viewer's choice ballot too. Yay! My new best friend Sylvia is here, and so is Paula. What's up, guys? So let's talk about this show. So I think it was $10 at the door, no problem. They give you a wristband, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then you get to it. You walk in, you're in it. The coolest thing about this show for me are the categories, guys. I think they have the coolest categories. This show also felt very well attended and executed, and there are people where you needed there to be people. And I love the fact that people had their badges and it lets you know that they have quilts in the show so you can talk to the people and celebrate them. Loved that. I loved walking around and seeing all the women who have quilts in the show. Then I love this first page that says don't miss a thing, which tells you everything that's happening in the show. So they had quilts, they had some special exhibits, they had a vendor mall, they had the boutique baskets, and those baskets were full. I mean, full. They had a consignment area. They did a block auction. So some of the ladies put together some blocks that all go together that you can put together however you like. Then they have the small quilt silent auction, you guys. They had some of the cutest quilts, and I love that they were small. It wasn't like you were trying to do a big, huge, quilt auction. They were tiny. They weren't tiny, but they were small miniatures, and they were really cute. They were about 5 that I should have bid on. And the show lasts from 9 to 4, and I think the auction, the end of the auction, the end of the bidding ended at 3:30, which was cool. They had books and magazines. They had a donor quilt. You buy the single ticket or a book of 6 tickets to win that quilt, which was super beautiful. They had the viewer's choice, and then they had a concession stand, and they were doing an Elnita sewing machine that was donated that I think they were raffling off too. It was so cool. Lots happening at this tiny show. So here's the cool thing. Their categories and descriptions. So as I was walking around, I'm like, what does this mean? Like, how do you qualify for this? So emerging is any member who has earned 1 or no ribbons in any quilt show. So those would be considered the emerging ones. And so when you were reading the description, it would say the name of the quilt, the quilter, and then it would say something like emerging or established or accomplished. Established is any member who has earned 2 or 4 ribbons in any quilt show. I think this was just genius. I love, love, love how you can understand the quilt and where they are in their quilt journey so quickly. And then accomplished is any member who's earned 5 or more ribbons in any quilt show. I'm like, cool. Heirloom. This was probably my favorite category. I was telling my girlfriend that there was this heirloom quilt that it just spoke to me. And it was probably the most simple quilt in the entire show, but it was special. So heirloom is a predominantly hand-pieced or hand-appliqued, must be hand-quilted, all the work of one person, machine work limited to application of borders and binding, and for minimal background block construction on hand-appliqued quilts. That was just what it was. Probably, I kid you not, my favorite quilt in the entire show. Then we have the miniatures, the miniature scaled down version of a large quilt design, not one single block. Then we have modern, inspired by modern design, bold color, high contrast, expansive negative space, innovation, improvisation. Other would be a whole cloth, cathedral windows, red work, embroidery, cross stitch, yo-yo, crazy, like crazy quilt, crayon, paint, panel, etc. Okay. Art expressive design, original work includes abstracts not based on traditional block design or other variations on traditional quilting. Then they had art pictorial design. Original work may be developed from photos or drawings previously taken or made by the quilter, or may be created directly from the quilter's mind, may be of a living creature, person, building, landscapes, no kits, patterns, or use of other images unless written permission is received. And that's in the art pictorial design. Then we had group, which was the top made by two or more people with one of the makers a member of the guild and quilted by the same persons and or other members. Okay, that was good to know. And then this one right here was the one that I was really wanting to know, which is collaborative professional. So the top had to be made by one or more guild members and then quilted for a fee or barter by a professional quilter. You guys, I think all the shows, all of them, QuiltCon, Houston, all of them probably need to jump in with these show categories right here. I love the idea of knowing an emerging member, somebody who's earned one or no ribbons. It kind of gives you an idea of where they are. It does give you an idea, and I like it. I like knowing that information. I don't feel like I don't know. It feels right. It feels right. It makes so much sense to have competition categories with quilters of likes. I think so too. I cannot piece like Audrey Esseray. She's the only person whose name I can call these days. But I can play, but I can play a little bit, but I can't. Audrey Esseray has at least 5+ ribbon tech. She might have got them just at QuiltCon, and I would love to be able to be in a show with her. However, I don't know that my quilts can compete, but I still want to compete. I still want to play. Not really. I actually don't. But you know what I mean? I'm not a show quilter, I don't think. But do you know what I mean? This is great. I like that so much. And I don't know that I've seen that. And you guys know I pop around all the stuff. And I don't know that I've seen it and just didn't understand it. But this was the most clear. Because even as I was walking around, I was like, well, what does this mean? But I knew it meant something. And I like this. I like it a lot. So let me tell you guys the show. So those are the show categories and descriptions. And then they had show definitions. So a quilt, a work made of fabric in 3 layers, top, batting, and backing held together by stitching. Tied quilts will only be accepted for crazy quilts, cathedral window, or yo-yo quilts. That's interesting because one of the quilts that won at QuiltCon had tulle on the front and nobody could see the batting on the inside. And so they were like, how is this 3-layer? How is this an actual quilt? That question kept coming up. And I actually wonder how it was constructed. I think the handwork on it was amazing. It was one of the most striking quilts. It should have won second, just like it did. But was it indeed a quilt? Were there 3 layers? What were the 3 layers? This is very clear that batting it has to be in there. And I think, I'm telling you guys, I'm really liking what this show has done here. Excuse me, something my pieced. So piecing predominates in construction. Design and appearance of the top includes panels cut and pieced, as in a 1-block wonder. Applique predominates in design, construction, and appearance of the top. Mixed piecing and applique are relatively equivalent in construction, design, and appearance of the top. Kit or block of the month. I like that. A pre-selected and packaged set of fabric and pattern assembled by a quilt shop or other retailer. Special exhibit, quilts designed to showcase work that might not fit into traditional show categories, may be a part of a series, SAQA challenge, or made of repurposed materials. They are non-judged. Machine quilting definitions, amateur, quilted by a non-professional, or any type of sewing, embroidery, or quilting machine. And then we have professional, quilted by an individual who receives compensation, either free or barter, using either stationary or track mounted systems to create the quilting design using a computer generated design, a quilting pattern, or free motion quilting. You guys, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. This is probably one of the most fair shows in that way that I've ever seen. And I really enjoyed walking it. I loved it. And then they have all the quilters in here, all of them. They tell you exactly where they are on this here. And it's just great. And it wasn't a huge show at all. You guys saw me. I walked through it and I showed it. But I just wanted to show a little love to the categories. I think that should be the way of the world in all the shows, the big ones, the little ones. I love the heirloom category. Somebody really was doing some thinking when they did this. What else did I want to tell you guys? So I wanted to knock out the rest of the All Florida Shop Hop in one area that I had started, which is East Central region. But that didn't happen for a few different reasons. One, I left late, but I left late because my husband decided he wanted to come with me, which was cool. But that put me behind a couple of hours, which put me in a different kind of traffic, like LA bumper to bumper traffic coming from Sarasota back to Orlando. And these quilt shops are closing at 2 and 3 o'clock. And then they don't have traditional schedules where they're open like Monday to this quilt shop that I wanted to go to is closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I think Tuesday. I'm like, that should just be a free stop. If you've got to jump through all the hoops and catch them right at the perfect time in order to get there. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm sure there's a reason. The Seaside Sew, they close at 2 o'clock p.m. and they do not have a traditional schedule. And then Quilters Anonymous doesn't either. I think that's the one where everybody keeps telling me I got to go through the pastures, the cow pastures. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to knock out East Central region because I was going to try it. I was like, okay, I'm going to knock this out. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm okay with that. I did 6 shops in one day. That's enough. I think that's enough. And I did some damage. I have contributed. I'm happy. I am happy. All right, guys, let's see. What are you guys telling me? Debbie, you love this show aw, thank you. I'm glad that you were hanging out with me. Why don't other shows do this? I don't know, but it seems like all the shows should take note from this one if they're not already doing this. And if they are doing this, I think it should be advertised. Ooh, oh my goodness, your daughter-in-law? Is she going to like me? Or is she going to be like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? She's a little off. If you guys are in the Florida area, I must have said something that made people think that this book can be found everywhere. This just happens to be what Florida is doing. I don't know that you can get a book like this anywhere else. I've never seen one. This is just an amazing magazine that the Florida shops have put together. And it's a whole magazine. It's like a thick magazine. It's got patterns in here. It's got all the things. Yazzie bags, 10% off. It's got coupons in here. It's got this big, huge map that shows every last quilt store. But I do tell everybody, follow Rona the Ribbiter. I know that sounds funny. Rona, Rona, the Ribbiter, Ribbiter, or something along those lines, like a frog ribbiting. She likes frogs. She has a list of all the quilts. Is it the stores? Or is it the shows? It might be both. I know that I have linked her before, and I might need to link her on this video too. Rona the Ribbiter. People ask me all the time, how are you finding these shows? One, it's because I just lucked out on this one. I didn't even try. But wherever I go, I always look to see if there are any quilt shops in the area. It's just a thing. And so if you do that, you'll probably start to stumble upon some stuff too. And hang out at your local quilt guild because they should be able to tell you kind of the shows and the things that are happening and have relationships with other guilds around. I'm just saying. Is there anything else we need to talk about, guys? I just wanted to be sure that I came and did a recap of that amazing show, and I got a chance to talk about how they did their categories and how clear they are. They're clear cut. Mm. You guys know how I love to spend the monies. And they had a lovely vendor section, but you guys, I'm tapped out. I just can't I've got to take all this stuff home, and I might need to ship some stuff. But I did buy one thing. I had to. I had to do it. And of course, the one thing that I bought is not an easy to, where is the receipt? So I know who I bought this from. I bought this thing from Sarasota Sews. And this is what I got. Isn't it a cutie patootie? So they had a ton of them. And I was trying to figure out, well, should I get I really wanted like a black one, just an all black, easy, dark one, because I'm good for messing up an ironing board. I can burn up an ironing board before you know it. But then I saw this. You guys know I have been obsessed with this fabric. She fussy cut it. I was like, nope, want this. And this is just a little bitty ironing board. If you are ever using your wool mat on your cutting table, on your cutting board, which I always am, I'm very careful about it. What you guys see is just a few moments of me doing it for the camera, and then I turn around and use my big bad ironing board. But this is just a really cute mini one that will not, it's got the, I believe it's particle board, but it's the thickest ones in the world. It's got 3 layers of batting, and then it's got this really cute cover on it. And I love this. I absolutely love it. I think it would be so cute at a class. Can you imagine if I whip this out? They're gonna think I'm so cool. It's the only thing I bought. I feel like that was a great buy. There were some other things that I would have purchased had we been in LA. There was a person who had all the Quilter Select rulers like out, and I was like, I would just go through and finish my Quilter Select collection because I'm about that Quilter Select life. What are the usual categories? It depends on the show. You can get a modern traditionalism category. You can get, let's see, you can get a minimal design, negative space category. These are QuiltCon categories. You can get traditional, where you'll see like your Baltimores and that kind of stuff. What other categories are there, guys? I'd blow away the rest of the class with my little ironing board. What other categories are there usually? Houston has different categories than QuiltCon does, and these are like the 2 bigger shows. PIQF has different ones. I guess I could Google it. How about that? I said, what can we talk about? We can talk about that. Let me Google it. Let's do PIQF categories. Let's see. If you guys don't know already, my favorite categories are the minimalist and the negative space. Love those. Full size, traditional, mid-century modern quilts, wall quilts. Let's see. So you'll always have a best of show. I like that they have a full size. I like to see full size quilts. I also like to see the miniatures. Then we have best handwork. You'll see some handwork. Best sewing machine workmanship. I want to know if you're on a domestic or a long arm. This one has best long arm machine workmanship. I like that. Best use of color. Best interpretation of a theme. Full size traditional. PIQF has a lot of space too, though. PIQF can hang a ton of quilts. One of the reasons why everybody gets kind of upset about QuiltCon is that their quilts don't get in. They're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But QuiltCon, usually has less than 500 quilts. It's a small show. It's big in impact, but it's small in how many quilts they can do. I said best handwork, best sewing machine workmanship, long arm, color, interpretation of theme, mid-century modern. Yeah, best use of negative space. You guys, tell me what your favorite categories are. I was asking this the other day to my friends, and I'm kind of curious to know what you guys really look forward to. So that's just the PIQF. That's the Mancuso brothers. Let's see what Houston does. Let's see what their categories look like. Hmm. Oh, that's right. We have landscape quilts, American tradition in full bloom. Let's see. Collaborate, celebration of color. Hmm. Somebody told me I should enter in the celebration of color. Now, if they had some categories like this, I wouldn't have to worry about competing against Carol Breyer Fallert because I can't compete with her. I just can't. She's been doing this longer than I've been on this earth. So blah blah blah. And that's not to say I couldn't. It's just I'd have to. I don't know. I don't know. The American tradition, that kind of stuff. Um, it's all about contemporary for you. I like contemporary. I like to see the modern traditionalists too. I like to see it. It's good. I like to see when people work within certain parameters. Improv is my least favorite category. Not my gift either. Not my gift. And I love that I've got a friend who is all about improv. I've got several that are all about improv. That's all they want to do. It's all they want to see. It's all they want to talk about. Modern traditional, excuse me, a negative space for you. Nice. Nice. All right, guys. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Is there anything else we need to think about? We need to solve more quilty problems of the world. I feel like I have been going live. I feel like I've just been in this quilt frenzy for 2 weeks straight. So much to see, so much happening. Tomorrow, I will be in a SeaWorld frenzy. I'll be at SeaWorld tomorrow, and I'm super excited. I really like SeaWorld, and I've never been to SeaWorld out here. So that's where I'll be tomorrow. I do not think I will be at a shop tomorrow. I don't think. I don't know if their shops are open on Sundays out here. Not that it matters, because again, it's tomorrow Sunday. I never know what day it is. I think tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. Anything else you guys want me to talk about? Anything else you guys want me to check out? Let me know. Did I see anything else cool? Nope. I think that's it. Did I buy anything else that we missed? No. I've got a friend Saturday. Um, Really quickly, I have a friend who did her haul of what she bought, and I tell you, I wish that we had done a at the end of the night, I wish we had done like a recap of what everybody had bought that day so that we could have just purchased the things that, because there's a book that I'm about to order as soon as I get off of here. I should tell you guys what that book is because I was like, what? Let's look at it really quickly. She was doing this is Project Lisa, and there it is. It's called, okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. She was super excited about this book, and then it shows you how to piece the block, regular traditional piecing, and paper piece. And I was like, what? It's such a cool book. It's somewhat modern and somewhat traditional, and I like it. And it's by Daisy. Oh, I can barely see it. Here we go. Daisy Dodge. Traditional and paper piecing patterns. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. It's called I think it's called the Ultimate Modern Book. Oh, yep. Getting it. What is the name of the shop in Sebastian? Did I go to Sebastian? Did I go to Sebastian? Let me see. Nana's Quilts, Clearwater. There are a gazillion shops here. And I don't see anything that says Sebastian. And Sebastian. Did I go to Sebastian? Crestview, Walton Beach, Mary Esther, Daytona, Jacksonville, Claremont, Edgewater. I don't think I went to Sebastian. Let's look. Is there such thing as Sebastian? Where is Sebastian? I am looking at. Oh, Sebastian. There is one, and it's in green. I'll tell you. Give me 1 second. Sweet Time Quilting. Bam. There you go. It's called Sweet Time Quilting. It's off the Highway 1. It is in Sebastian, and that is in the southeast region. And I was darn near there. I was darn near down there. I was close, but I didn't quite go. You are not wrong. You are more than welcome. Anybody else want to know what's happening here? Because I got a whole map. I was telling, oh my goodness, I forget the lady's name from the Modern Sewist. She was at the show. I should have gone around the corner and went to their shop, but I just didn't make it. I was telling her how impressed I am with how many shops there are in Florida, guys. There are just a ton of them. And she says, well, think about our demographic. And I was like, oh, you're right. But the shops seem very modern for the demographic. Lots of Cafe, though. This might be the Cafe motherland. You know, I'm not mad at them. I like some Cafe. But they seemed modern to me. The shops, she was like, well, what shops did you go to? And then I thought I was in a very specific region. I didn't travel to all of them, which I kid you guys not, if I had about another week, I would do every single shop on here. I would do every single one. One day, maybe I'll have a show that allows me to do something like that because I would do every single one. And find out the Modern Sewist isn't even on this list. They didn't opt in. So there are shops on this list that aren't even, I mean, there are shops in the state that aren't even on this list, which is amazing. All right, guys. Well, I am going to get out of here if we're not talking about anything else, even though I could talk quilts from sun up to sundown. I want to go iron something. I wish I had my mini iron. I think I brought my mini iron. Now, what am I going to iron? My version of diners, drive-ins, and dives. That sounds like a heck of a pitch. Anybody know anybody? Do we know anybody? Because it could be an insanely good time. I mean, Rob Appel does it, but I think I can do it too. I like Rob Appel. He's pretty cool. Anything else before I go make a bowl of cereal? I don't know why I feel like eating cereal, but I do. Nope. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call some of my quilty friends and talk their ears off about how awesome and how cool I think these categories are and how helpful I think they would be in all shows. All right. It was Quilts and Lace. What was Quilts and Lace? Quilts and Lace is one of the best shops I've ever seen in my entire life. Period, point blank. Quilts and Lace. Love, love them. Oh, Sylvia, I'm going to call you in just a moment about Quilts and Lace. All right, guys, you have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys very, very soon, hopefully.